Some kitchen innovation from Zojirushi. Welcome to Techstination. I'm Fred Fishkin. Zojirushi has become a go-to brand over the years when it comes to rice cookers. There's a lot of pressure in this business. Forgive that. And with us is Marketing Manager Marilyn Matsuba. Good to see you, Marilyn.
Hi, good to see you.
And we're going to explain that you are in an office environment. That's why the mask is still on for this. Zojirushi is a company that dates back more than 100 years in Japan, and the innovation is continuing. You've unveiled a new pressure induction heating rice cooker and warmer with lots of tech and lots of style. Describe for us what is new here.
So this actually is going to be available in the springtime, so not available yet. I just want to make sure to clarify. It's a completely new pressurized induction heating rice cooker that has the control panel on top of the lid. So I don't know if you're familiar with our regular rice cookers. They usually have the control panel sort of towards the front of the rice cooker. By having it on top of the lid, it makes the rice cooker a lot more compact, and the design is so much more sleeker and sort of unique looking.
That's interesting. So putting it on the top saves space in the kitchen. And as far as the technology for cooking the rice is concerned, there's some new stuff going on there too.
There's pressure. I'm not sure how much your readers are familiar with rice cookers, but aside from induction heating and pressurized cooking, this unit has a new My Rice setting where after it's done cooking rice, you can enter what you thought about the rice, if you prefer it to be a little bit softer or harder or a little bit more chewier. By entering your opinion, the next time you use the rice cooker, it'll adjust it so that it'll try to cook it as much to your preference as possible.
And I guess you have to be consistent, and you help out with that with measuring, I suppose. You have to be consistent with the amount of rice and the amount of water that go in for it to be as precise as you'd want it to be, right?
Absolutely. One of my pet peeves actually is and this is what I used to do when I was younger too. I was taught that you don't really have to measure the rice or the water. You use your finger method. So I guess I don't know what you would call it. Like, we were taught to just use our hands to measure the amount of water that would go into the rice cooker. But we cook tons and tons of rice every year when we develop rice cookers to make sure that the rice turns out perfect each time, no matter how much you cook. So every rice cooker will come with a rice measuring cup. You use the rice measuring cup to measure your raw rice. And then once the rice is in your cooking pan, we have water guidelines that'll tell you how much water you're supposed to fill to. So you essentially really don't have to measure the amount of water. You're just pouring to the corresponding line.
Interesting. And you have something that you call advanced fuzzy logic. And I think I've been called something akin to that, but tell us what is that?
So it's basically a sort of a coined term for a microcomputer chip. Basically, most of our rice cookers come with a microcomputer chip, and by having that chip, it can cook different types of rice differently for you. So for example, something like brown rice, because it has that hard husk on the outside, you want to cook it at a lower temperature for longer so that it still cooks through the hard outer layer, but it doesn't disintegrate the rice. And the MyCom is basically what makes that possible. Fuzzy logic is just it's originally a science term, but basically it's a more advanced form of MyCom or microcomputer chip. It can take more of a not specific data, of like fuzzy data, to sort of figure out what it needs to do so that the outcome of the rice is perfect every time.
And you also say there's artificial intelligence being used here. Is that what you were talking about before when you said you tell it how the rice came out? after
That's
it's cooked?
the My Rice is a program. So it's kind of like if you think of a grid, it's going to go off of a grid. So you say you want it softer but chewier, then it's just going to go up a grid and then adjust the cooking the next time you cook it. The artificial intelligence, it comes more in is more handy one when you're keeping warm. um, Once the rice cooker is done cooking the rice, it'll automatically keep your rice warm. When it's keeping the rice warm, it actually sort of figures out how much rice is left inside the rice cooker and adjusts the temperature so that it doesn't dry out the rice. The other thing that it can do is it sort of remembers how the rice cooker cooks when it's new. So once you start using the rice cooker, obviously down the road, it's going to start to deteriorate. The gasket's not going to work as well. The temperature sensor is not going to work as well. And when it starts doing that, the artificial intelligence can gauge that difference and adjust the cooking cycle so that it can still cook the way that the rice cooker used to cook when it was brand new.
Wow, I wish I could work that way. That's great.
Me too.
So ease of use is a big thing with any kitchen appliance and I'm sure you study that intensely to make sure that this is easy for consumers. But tell us what the experience is for your customers.
I mean, we've been making rice cookers for so long that a lot of them are just very small things that make a difference. One of the things that we are very specific about is the nonstick coated inner cooking pan. We do have customers who want a non-coated stainless steel pot, but if you've ever tried cooking rice in a stainless steel pot, it's very difficult to clean. And all of our rice cookers have a nonstick pot so that once you're done serving the rice, then it's really, really easy to clean. Um,
And in terms of the
Other areas,
menus, before you get started, stepping people through it, it's pretty fast and easy, right?
the menus, yes. So there's just a button and then you just basically click through the menus and tell the rice cooker what kind of rice you're cooking.
Really, really simple. Now you have a couple of different sizes, right, of these new models coming out. Tell us about
It's
that,
a
what the pricing will be as well.
Sure. So 5.5 cups and 10 cups is generally our standard capacities of rice cookers. 5.5 cups is actually the amount of raw rice in our measuring cup that's going into the rice cooker. It yields about 10 cups of cooked rice. So we recommend for families of maybe around 4, the 5.5 cup capacity, and then any larger families, we recommend the 10 cups.
And this is
Price
Go
wise,
ahead. Hmm.
price wise, the 5.5 cup, the suggested retail price is $830, and then for the 10 cups, it's $885.
Okay. And what people would wonder, wow, that's an expensive kitchen appliance, but you're paying for a lot of technology and something that's going to last for many, many years.
Right. Um, our brand is known for our quality, and this is going to be our flagship model. It cooks rice better than any of the existing models that we have. So I wouldn't recommend it for everybody. Not anybody needs a $800 rice cooker, but if you are particular about the texture and the taste of the rice, then it's definitely worth the investment.
For more information, where can people go?
Um, Unfortunately, not yet because this product isn't available. But once it's available in the springtime, you can go to zojirushi.com.
And it's ZOJIRUSHI.com.
Yes.
Marilyn Matsuba, thank you for taking the time with us.
Thank you. Have a nice day.